We just won the Polish League with Ruch Chorzów in the Ultimate Glory Hunter Challenge. It's the 5th league we've won, and our plan is of course to get more. So the question is, what club is next? Right after clinching the Polish League title, I applied to Domžale in Slovenia and Göteborg in Sweden, as well as Napoli, who are in heavy financial troubles, and AS Monaco, whose manager Paco Lopez retired from football. The first side who responded were IFK Göteborg, who have a very difficult start to the season in the Swedish top flight. But their ambition is to just get into mid-table, though we all know we already turned worse teams into champions. Despite Monaco offering us an interview, I still don't really want to go to the top European leagues. But then they offered me a job and I thought, okay, this is crazy. I still delayed that offer, waiting for a decision from Sweden or Slovenia. I know that's weird. But when Göteborg said no, I knew it was the right time to move somewhere quite unexpected. We're taking on a huge gamble, quite literally, because you may know Monaco is a place known for its historic Formula 1 Grand Prix, wealth being everywhere, little tax, and its casino. But when it comes to football, the French Ligue 1 has been absolutely dominated by Paris Saint-Germain in this save so far. But the good thing is, Monaco is an established runner-up, though it's no contest to PSG. We got hired to get that winning edge, and it's a very simple deal here. Win the Ligue 1, we may go to the top 4 leagues already, though I still want to win in some smaller countries. Get sacked, and we might have some trouble finding a new team. The pressure is huge, and we have to handle it. And we will not do it with this little stuff. So of course, we sorted it out within days. What we also need to sort out is our squad, which is quite aging. So I went on to ask Saudi Arabia and Atletico Madrid for some money, and for some of the players over the age of 30, we got nearly 300 million euros. And to win against PSG, we need to spend a major chunk of it. For 53 million arrived Marcel Braun, permanently signed from Juventus after a loan. Loner Fletash from River Plate joined for 20 million. I also tried to sign Erling Haaland, who was released by Manchester City for some reason, but the talks fell down. For now. More arrivals include Petr Hovan from Bohemian Prague for 7 million, Ricardo Lupi from Inter and Chibuike Ugochukwu from Rennes for a total of 100 million euros to be our new centre-backs. And what about Erling Haaland? After a lengthy negotiation, we finally agreed to some decent terms. He still chose Barcelona instead. I still couldn't leave this money just sitting in the bank. And we went on to spend its remainder on 2 more starting 11 level players. A keeper Safiano Donsak from Lyon for 75 million and a midfielder Abdoulaye Kamara from Bayer Leverkusen for 52 million. But Abdoulaye only joined after our debut in Monaco, which is a Trophy de Champion game against Paris Saint-Germain. Yes, I'm battling for a trophy in my debut. And PSG showed their dominance in France by scoring 22 minutes in from a mess in the corner. However, we still wanted to prove doubters wrong and tried to respond nearly instantly, which from a corner we did and equalized. Le Parisien took it as a huge warning and wanted to start the second half strong, but it was us who launched the counter. A Macedonian playmaker Toni Atanasovski passed to Leonel Fletash, who gave us the lead. He then made a great pass to Nicolas Kramer, who gave us a third. And with João Neves getting a red card, we kept it cool until the very end, and we celebrated our first trophy of our stint in Monaco. First of many, hopefully. Unfortunately, the start to the Ligue 1 season wasn't as good as we wanted. If we want to topple PSG, we have to win basically every single game. And what did we do? We got draws against Orsilon and Clermont Foot. Lille, on the other hand, demolished us for 1. This was still enough for a 6th place in the league, 5 points behind PSG. But maybe the pressure of the brand new stadium that we opened at the start of the season was getting to us. And it wouldn't help that the next games at Jean-Luc Ettori Arena will be in the... Our fixture list is perfectly balanced, as all things should be. On the one side, we have the likes of Copenhagen, Shakhtar Donetsk or Celtic. On the other, we've got Manchester City, Juventus or Barcelona. The last ones being our opponents in our Champions League debut. And guess who showed up for this game? You guessed it, a man who recommends to stay humble. And I hope, with these goals from Massaro and Schmidt, you Erling will stay humble. Cause you've made the wrong choice, cause you lost against us. But this UCL campaign is not that smooth so far. Borussia Mönchengladbach held us out very well for a draw. They even scored a goal. But Yoshinobu Kudo, a Japanese newgen, was offside. Against Copenhagen at Parken, we had to resort to a huge passing error from the Danish side to get the late 2-1 win, and Porto were defeated, thanks to a single penalty. With 10 points in 4 games, the knockout stages seem to be nearly certain, but we still want to go directly to the round of 16. That Champions League form, after all, helped us get up in the league. This involved a win against Paris Saint-Germain with Tommaso Massaro's lone goal. Except Jamie Bino-Gittens scored in the 93rd minute to equalize, and he did it despite PSG being down to 10 men from the 67th minute. At least we compensated that bottle with huge wins, this time real ones, over Marseille, Rennes, Lyon or Sochaux, all of which lifted us up to 4th in the league, with a perspective of becoming runners-up. The league win is still possible, but we simply have to win everything, just like Paris Saint-Germain do. And in general, we continued this good run of form. We advanced to the 3rd place, right in the tail of Lille, against whom we got a draw. Things were looking promising for the rest of the season, minus this one game against Reims. I mean, you can already see on the bottom left, I've lost an own goal here. We're on such a good form, and then our center back being pressed by absolutely nobody. What a strike, I must say. He just scored it to the bottom corner, very precise. This is probably the worst game we've had in this save so far. Yes, it even beats the time when we got demolished 7-1 by Levski Sofia, when we are managing Botev Plovdiv from Bulgaria. Thankfully, it was just an accident, but we'll come back to the matches a bit later, because in the winter transfer window, we said goodbye to Rodrigo Aller, who went to Espanyol for 11 million after complaining about his lack of playing time. Another man who left us was Alexei Gerasimov, who landed in RB Salzburg. His replacement will be a wonderkid Arnaud Ramos, but not right now. He went to Midtjylland in Denmark for a loan. The last signing? Rodney from Palmeiras, who joined us for free. And with that out of the way, let's come back to... In our fight for knockout stages, we stumbled upon Manchester City, but they no longer had the humble man, Phil Foden or Oscar Bob, so there was a chance for us to get a victory. Unfortunately, Yuli Marin and Claudio Echeverry are decent replacements. Decent enough to put this game to bed quickly. Sergei Pinyaev capitalizing on a possession error from the citizens was not enough, and we lost the first game in the Champions League this season. We also had a bad start against Juventus, with a penalty goal. But Yunus Musa got a chance to score a long shot, which he did, saving us a draw. The two final opponents in the league phase were Shakhtar Donetsk and Celtic, a relatively easy opposition in our way to round of 16, and we indeed defeated Shakhtar 3-1, but Celtic proved to be a bit harder of an opponent, holding us out until late in the game. However, Sergei Pinyaev scored in the 89th minute, which was just enough to finish 8th in the league stage and advance directly to the round of 16, where we will play RB Leipzig. I thought an opponent of this class would be a very cool challenge, until Safiano Donsach made a perfect pass to William Sousa Santos. And if you're wondering, William Sousa Santos is an RB Leipzig player. Marcel Brown quickly cut inside to equalize, but the light in the tunnel quickly got turned off. Rasenballsport scored 4 more goals, making it 5 in total. Our response? Well, at least we've got this spectacular long shot from Abdoulaye Kamara. The second leg had a similar start. We concede a penalty, then Petr Hovan quickly equalizes. Safiano Donsach commits another blunder by not saving this slow shot. Aurelien Amenda equalized nearly immediately, and in the second half, Marcel Brown made the perfect run to give us the lead. This was the second I thought we might try to make a comeback. However, our two major chances were agonizingly close, but not close enough. We won the second game, but we did not win the aggregate, ending our European run. We will go at it again next season though. We were showing less and less flaws in the French league, and our undefeated run against PSG continues. We demolished them 4-0, and it seems there was only one side on the pitch that day. The problem is, Les Parisiens were very close to clinching the title at this point, which they eventually got, but they would give us a helping hand. The champions won 2-0 against Lille in game week 30. This closed the gap between us and Lille to a single point. We were flawless in the final games of the season, ending it with 12 consecutive league wins. And Lille did get a flaw, a 3-2 loss against Lyon. With that, we finished the season as runners-up of the French league. Again, with no contest to PSG, unless we're talking about our direct encounters. The bigger picture is that the champions only lost one game, and it was that 4-0 win of ours. So in season 13, all we need is to be at least as consistent as them to to win. That's all that matters. At least, Tommaso Massaro became the league's top scorer. But there is one competition I have not mentioned in this video so far, and we're talking about the French Cup, in which we got a relatively easy route to the latter stages. This included a 3-1 win over Ligue 2 side to Grenoble, a 4-0 thrashing of Van OC from the 5th tier, and an 8-2 demolition of Nîmes Olympique from Ligue 2. We got drawn against Stade Rennes in the quarterfinal, and they proved to be much tougher. After all, they are a Ligue 1 opposition. After they scored 2 goals, I was sure we were getting knocked out. But Kosiganke gave us hope from a corner. Kamara then equalized, and the man who assisted was Peter Hovan, who also gave a ball to Tommaso Massaro, who gave us the lead 56 minutes in. Yet another defensive error of this episode resulted in Rennes equalizing. But Yunus Musak's deflected shot and Tommaso Massaro completing his brace promoted us to the semi-finals, where we encountered Lyon. Yes, we will play the entire game without a full squad. And a goal deficit, to make it a perfect start for the hosts. I switched to a 4-3-2 in hopes of compensating Pinyaev's red card. And it worked! Marcel Brown got to equalize with a powerful strike. Not for long, because Leonel Fleitas went way too high in the defensive line, and therefore we conceded again. Worry not though, Tommaso Massaro not only equalized, but also gave us the lead against all odds. We didn't enjoy it for too long though. A deflection after a shot from Ernest Nuama made it a 3-3 draw, which following no action in the final 30 minutes resulted in a penalty shootout. Both teams converted their first penalties. But then, Ernest Nuama was stopped by Safiano Donsach in a spectacular fashion. Marcel Brown scored one of his, but Peter Hovan's shot to the middle was very easy to stop, making a first level again. The 4th and 5th takers all scored, leading us to sudden death, in which a Norwegian centre-back's fine Frode Draxet stepped up and missed entirely. Thomas Guerrero had the chance to become our hero, and though Tristan Kausten threw himself in the right direction, the shot was a bit too powerful. And it means we will play in the final in Stade de France against our bitter rivals Nice in the French Riviera derby. And it looked like we were the favorites when Marcel Brown quickly got to action and scored. However, Nice was eager to respond, equalizing in the 25th minute. We had a major advantage throughout the game, and we even scored a goal. But Massaro was offside. Despite our efforts, nothing wanted to go in, which led to extra time, in which we gave away possession way too cheaply, which led to a long ball being sent above our heads, which led to Nice taking the lead. I used some desperate tactics to get us back on track and at least get to a penalty shootout, and a highlight appeared in the 120th minute. Everyone went forward, which made Guerrero cut inside and finally send the long ball to Sergei Pinyaev, who ran close to the byline and made the last minute cross. And that cross found Fabio Miretti, who gave us a huge equalizer, which led to a penalty shootout, in which the miracle sender got stopped by Nice's keeper. At least, Sergei converted his penalty, unlike Adam Asnu, who blasted it to the left side outside of the post. We were level before the final round, in which Toni Atanasowski scored his spot kick. Can Safiano Donsach prevent us from sudden death and win us our second trophy in France? He can! And with that, we won our second domestic cup of this save. The first one was the Latvian Cup, and now we've won Coupe de France. We celebrated wildly, and deservedly so, because, after all, it was a very good season. But then, I discovered something completely unrelated, but spectacular. Yes, I am as stunned as you. There was no PSG anywhere in the latter stages of the cup, because they made a bottle even more spectacular than the 2017 UEFA Champions League round of 16, when the French team lost against Barcelona, despite winning 4-0 in the first leg. This is why I have high hopes for our second year in the Principality, but we will need to get a couple of reinforcements. We let go Arnau Tenas to Bournemouth and Aurelii Amenda to Saudi Arabia for a total of 74 million. In their place came in 2 talented players, a Swedish left-back Rikard Lindahl from his native Isters and an Austrian goalkeeper Marco Lechner from Wolfsburg. And the man who jumped straight into the starting 11 was Axel Francois from Stade Reims for a massive 80 million fee. With those signings, our season again started in the Trophy des Champions, where we again played PSG. But this time, despite a scare at the start of the match, we absolutely dominated the Parisian side. Leonel Fleitas seems to love this particular game, because he not only opened up the scoring, but also made an assist to Bob van Hattum, who scored from a corner. Peter Hovan closed the game with the 3rd goal, and with it, Monaco won the Trophy des Champions for the third time in a row, and second under our management. The league has not started that well though. For the first time since we joined the club in the Principality, we lost to PSG. Adding on draws against Clermont Foot and Marseille, it was far from a good start to the season. PSG and Lille, who found a way to win 4-0 against the Giants, were already getting away with the title fight. And with not that good of a news, let's now move into... Compared to last year, this fixture list is much more manageable, with Crvena Zvezda, Fenerbahce or Levski Sofia on our calendar. We got our strongest opponents at the start, including Porto, who we dismantled 5-2, or Barcelona, who had an advantage in terms of the stats, but we were the only ones to score, with Bob Van Hattum's header from a corner. Benfica was a 1-0 draw, and Crvena Zvezda was a 0-0 draw, for whatever reason. Thankfully, we got a great show against Juventus, got a revenge for a Conference League quarter-final with Ruch against Brighton, and confirmed our participation in the round of 16 with wins over Fenerbahce and Levski Sofia. This good run of form led us to third place in the league phase, only behind Real Madrid and Manchester United. This means we skipped the playoff round and went straight to the round of 16, where we're going to play Ajax. But we'll take a look at it a bit later, because the question is, was the league any better in comparison? Sort of. We had a couple of great moments in the first round, like a total demolition of one of the title contenders Lille 4-1 or Lyon 5-2. However, we also had some lows, like Toulouse thrashing us 4-2 or Reims snatching a 1-0 win. Overall, we did play well though, and we're in contention for a runners-up slot. We might even have a slight chance to win the league title, but we need to count on PSG bottling a couple of games. The board was happy with that performance, happy enough to expand the stadium and offer us a new contract, which I rejected, because it came from Liverpool, who are fighting for survival in the Premier League. I did accept Monaco's contract extension though. In the winter transfer window, the only man we signed is the veteran centre-back Castello Luqueba from Real Madrid for 5.5 million. We just need that winning edge to get the league title, and Castello can give us just that. And in the league, it kinda worked. We've had a clean slate since January. Almost a clean slate. Paris Saint-Germain, of course, had to get clear at the start of the game against us. But the biggest plot twist was not us winning everything, except that one game against Le Parisien. It was the fact that Paris Saint-Germain started to slip up. Le Parisien lost against Olympique Lyon and Lille. And under the usual circumstances, it would be at best for the fight for the second place. Cause you know, PSG. However, they're not even leading the league. Suddenly, it's Lille who lead the standings, only 2 points ahead of us. The title charge is truly on. I did not even think we could go at it that fast. But before it, let's take one more look at this little European competition called... Our round of 16 opponents were probably the easiest we could get, Ajax. But in the first game at the Amsterdam Arena, the Dutch side wanted to show they're the real underdog story, hitting the post at the start of the game. That was just a scare though. Our attacking players sorted the aggregate out very quickly. Massaro, Schmid, Hovan and Kramer all scored 1 goal each, and Abdou Diop's header did nothing to the bigger picture. We were pretty much set to go to the quarter-final, and we wanted to confirm it at home. Tommaso Massaro proved why he's our best striker by far, and Peter Hovan added a brace of his own. Diego Moran's goal for Ajax was just a consolation, and we reached the Champions League quarter-final. Our next opponents? Manchester United. We played the first game at our home in Jean-Luc Ettori Arena, and our own walls did not help at the start. Rasmus Højlund scored a tap-in. However, we quickly responded, with reliable Tommaso Massaro giving an equalizer. Very late in the game, we had a mess in Manchester's box. Toni Atanasowski got to the ball first and scored into the top corner. We won in the first leg of this quarter-final, but the Red Devils showed they can stage a comeback. It was going to be hard at Old Trafford, and it showed 25 minutes in. Manchester United got a penalty, and Alejandro Garnacho converted it. In this match, we only wanted to survive to get to the extra time, so we got a huge relief when it turned out the second Manchester goal was called offside. However, it couldn't last forever. 77 minutes in, Aaron Hickey got the ball from a corner, scored it, and knocked us out of the Champions League. It's the third time we were knocked out of Europe against an English team, and in all cases it was a quarter-final. One trophy is not going to be ours definitely. But what about the domestic competitions? One of them is the Coupe de France, which we won last year. We of course wanted to win it again, and our route was pretty easy. That path included wins over 2nd Division Sochaux and Brest, lower tier Cholet, and 3rd tier Red Star. However, in the semi-final against Lyon, Lyon got the penalty at the very start of the game, and Ryan Cherky converted it. This was enough to knock us out of the cup, and we will not defend the trophy. At least, we got our revenge in the league, winning 3-1, but Lille got a huge win too, which means, despite the fact there were still a couple of matches left, both sides were prepared for the title decider against each other, and it looked like an uphill battle. We had some initial advantage, but Lille had a striker called Fabio Silva. The Portuguese man wanted to show he can carry Lille to the title, scoring the brace against us. We only woke up in the second half. First, it was Abdoulaye Kamara who cut into the area and scored, and 15 minutes later, Chibuike Ugochukwu scored a header from a corner. It was enough to just salvage a draw, but that also means the title fight is outside our control. On our side, we did everything in our power. We won 1-0 against Toulouse, and then demolished Strasbourg, Caen and Saint-Germain. The problem is, Lille also won every game. PSG also won everything, including a demolition of Olympique de Marseille 7-1, but they were a point behind us anyway. This series of results means we have to win the Côte d'Azur derby against Nice and count on Saint-Germain getting some points against Lille if we want to win the Ligue 1 title. Is on the right side of the pitch, makes a run from the very deep, makes a shot for a way to get past his opponent, but he does not. But now, Perez makes an abysmal error and Marcel Brown capitalizes on it. I just hope Saint-Germain can at least hold out for a draw, because a draw gives us the title, but it looks like Haraldson already took the lead. Brown on the penalty area. There is chaos here, but Schmidt uses it perfectly. 2-0. Saint-Germain has equalized, but it's nothing to get enthusiastic over about. Lille has a red card. I know it doesn't change much, but it can change something. They have definitely confirmed that Saint-Germain has... There was a chance, there was some hope with the red card. And it looks like Frank Tarano also makes a consolation, though it was offside, I think, it was. We again have an 82-point season. And again, it is not enough. What else do we have to do to win the league? In a season we had the biggest chance in, we didn't really use that chance. We just bottled it, that's it. We had great runs coming to the end of each season, and even won 3 trophies on the way. But we did not win the trophy that matters. The French league itself. Even with PSG bottling their title streak, our club is well and truly capable of winning that Ligue 1 title. We just couldn't convert the chances we've had. But because of the potential this side has got, we will stick around and try to win the league. Is it time to move to the giants of the French football? You'll find it out in the next episode. If you enjoyed this video, you can hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. I will be very grateful for that. Sometimes we make a decision that is not the best, and I probably made one at some point of this save. To find out where I went earlier on, check out the video which is on your screen right now.